everybody, and welcome back. I am back at it again with another repair video for you. I've already started this one, just barely, and I wasn't even going to document this one because it's another Star Wars board. And I've got quite a few Star Wars boards on the channel lately, but this one turned out to be a little different, so I thought, well, maybe I will film this. This one came in. Okay, this board is 7640. So this is the oddball board. That's serial 7460. This is serial 4092. And the vector generator board is also 4092. So these are matching. The AVG board and the soundboard match. This is just the oddball board. And this board right here, I've already got socket pins out because this board's really kind of really oxidized. The sockets were bad. So, and it had a ROM in here, a ROM here, here, and here, I believe. And I dumped them. They didn't. This one came out to Empire Strikes Back. One of them was a 2764. Three of the other ones, there were 1, 2, 3, 4. There were only 4 ROMs. And 2 of these guys were 128s. One of them was a 64, and then there was a 128 here. This is the only one that came out to Empire Strikes Back. These ones didn't come out to anything. No, is that right? Maybe another one did. I don't remember. Maybe. But this thing had the hack done on the back. I've removed the hack. This was converted to Empire Strikes Back in the day. And it had that Empire Strikes Back hack on it, where you have to do jumpers like this to have different ROMs. Empire Strikes Back used 128s rather than 64s. That's why there was a 64 in here and I knew it was wrong. That's the one that came up to nothing, was the 64. I think all of the 128s did come out to Empire Strikes Back. But Empire Strikes Back in the day had a board that plugged in right here. Had a board a satellite board that plugged into this socket that had a couple more ROMs on it. And that's nowhere to be found. So I'm going to convert this back. I'm going to deconvert this back to Star Wars, which means these are Empire Strikes Back exclusively. I can't use these. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to program Star Wars ROMs for here. Yeah. If anyone needs Empire Strikes Back ROMs, bipolar ROMs for Empire Strikes Back, get up with me, because I'll sell them cheap because I don't need them. I verified them all. I verified them in this programmer. They are Empire Strikes Back. So yeah, unfortunate. I'm gonna have to program 4 of these guys, and that makes this a more expensive repair right off the bat. Those are not included in the repair cost. Any bipolars or kind of rare stuff like that is just not included in the fee. So yeah, I wanted to start documenting this one a little bit because it's a deconvert. I'm gonna have to, fix all of the trace hacking and stuff like that. But while I got this out, before I put it up, I will program those Star Wars ROMs for that guy. So, cool. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, I'm doing my work on this board, and I've cleared all of the socket pins. And I'll have to repair these breaks, these cuts. And this was super bad down here. this edge was all like blackened and corroded and nasty, so I took my Dremel with the sanding wheel and cleaned it off down to bare copper. And then you can't just leave it as bare copper. I did both sides. So I tinned all of the fingers with this, which is lead-free solder, silver solder. I don't know what it's actually made, but it's just a tin solder or whatever. Yeah, I think SN is tin, so it's a tin solder basically. I think SN is tin. Yeah. And it's expired, but whatever. So it's a, I tinned this with actual tin, no lead, because lead, and this was from a little shout out and thank you, one of my patrons, Todd. Like I was saying, shout out to my patron on the Patreon channel, Todd, for letting me know that over time lead will oxidize bad. So you should use tin. Don't use lead when you're doing edge connectors like this. So tin them with a lead-free solder. And I'm just getting to look at this board, and I'm starting to wonder if this thing ever worked after it was converted to Empire Strikes Back, because this is completely hacked. I've removed the solder mask on these traces, and you can see right here there are multiple broken traces right there that were not fixed. They were not fixed. Multiple broken traces. Once again, that middle trace is also broke. Yeah, this is the real, right here's the really bad areas right here. This first one to the right was repaired. The other one wasn't. That middle one is also broke. Those, all three look like they're broke right there. Cut. And then those look like they're broke. Cut. So I'm wondering if this thing even worked after they did this. So I'll repair all of that. I'll take and I'll wipe all of this off to make this nice and flat and tinned. And then I'll go over everything else, and I'm going to wash this board really good. Before I do anything, I'm going to wash it. And we'll see where we're at. But yeah, there's a lot of repairing to do on the back of this, where that was a pretty bad hack job, to be honest. So, yep, I'm wondering. My question is, this started its life, obviously, as they all do, as a Star Wars board. And then probably in 1985 or so, this was converted with the Atari conversion to Empire Strikes Back. Because that's what the ROMs were, and these guys, those are Empire Strikes Back. And there's a bulletin that Atari put out of how to modify this board for Empire Strikes Back, and that's what this is. But whoever did it was not very careful. So I'm wondering if those were like very intermittent intermittent connections, and it would work maybe a little bit and then not work. So this thing was probably killed after that conversion, is what that would be my guess. So, or it was really spotty that it would work and not work. So, yeah. All right, we'll clean this thing up, and we'll get that all repaired and really look it over really good. Okay, just got done washing this board, and it looks absolutely sparkly. Looking good, clean. I still have to wipe off the, wipe that flat, which is no big deal. I'll do that. But I just wanted to get this thing washed, and there was a sticker right here that came off when I washed it, and it revealed that this thing was okay June 1st of 1996. But with those traces how they were, I would not say this thing was okay. I really wouldn't. I would say they were lucky it worked. I would say they were lucky. Because these are issues, big time. These guys, these traces on both sides. Lucky this thing worked if it worked. And it was probably one of those situations where you move the board just right and it stops working, or resets or whatever. So, yeah. Alright, we'll just put this guy up. It's still a little alcohol damp from where I sprayed it down with alcohol after washing it. So I'll let it air dry and come back, and we've got some trace repairing to do as well as repopulating sockets on this guy, and then we're going to move on to the other boards and check them out, wash them up and everything. So yeah. And I believe I may have, I know I already tested, I know I already tested these pokies and they were good. I may have already tested this soundboard. I think I did. I think this soundboard is okay. I'm not positive of that, but I think so. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. This board, I have no idea the condition. All I do know is that I dumped this ROM, and this ROM was no good. That's one thing. But did I test these? I don't know if I tested the RAM. I think maybe I don't even think I tested these RAMs. But yeah, this is going to get the usual treatment anyway. The 5 op amps are going to be replaced and socketed. The regulators will be replaced. And I'm going to test these guys all out. This board actually looks not so bad as far as corrosion and stuff like that, so I think these sockets are actually going to be okay. And this one's going to be okay because this is getting a an aftermarket AVG, because I tested the AVG chips and it was no good. So, and I'm pretty sure I tested this EEPROM and it was no good. I don't know. I might have to do the same thing to this as I done to the other one. I might be able to get away with just using my fiberglass pen on this. I'm not sure. The other one, this other board, that board right there, was 10 times worse than this. It was pitted and black and nasty. This one's not terrible. I might be able to just clean that up with my pen. We'll see. I don't know. This is a pretty nice board. This board's not bad at all. Yeah. Okay. Looks like there was a little bit of something going on right here, but it doesn't look like anything broke. So So that's good. Yeah, this board should be okay. So that's it. This is the big problem on this set. This board right here is the big issue on this board set. So, and I removed these, the little headers. I removed those and I'm going to replace them because I tried flowing solder because those are always cracked. These solder joints are always cracked on Star Wars boards. So if you have flaky sound or intermittent sound, these things are always bad. They're cracked joints. And I tried reflowing them and they wouldn't even reflow. It was so oxidized. So I just pulled them out and removed them. I'm going to replace them. Yeah, so. And you got to reflow them on the soundboard too. You know, where it plugs into the soundboard, you got to reflow that. And if you can't reflow them, don't mess with it. Just replace them. Because they get so bad and oxidized that they will not solder. You just can't solder them. So at that point, you got no choice but to replace. So, all right, very good. We'll be back once this thing's completely dry and get ready to, we'll do our socketing. I'm going to look over this side really good and make sure I got no shorts over here. I don't want to have to remove sockets, and so I want to fix this one time and be done with it. I don't want to have to remove sockets. So I'll go over this really good with my beeper, and I'll clean it up as good as I can, and then I'm going to beep everything through and make sure nothing's short, and then we'll socket it all completely, and then I'll have to do my trace repairing on the back. And then we move on from this board. Okay, I have gone through and beeped out everything here. There's no shorts, no opens. I've wiped these flat. So this is silver solder. I don't know if it's silver. It's tin solder. Lead-free tin solder. Front and back. It looks great. And I cleaned it after I did it. And I beeped from the pad up to the board, and it's all good. No problems. So that's looking really good. And now it's just putting in sockets and then fixing the traces on the back, making sure everything's solid. And that should take care of this board. Barring logic problems, right? I mean, if there's logic failures, there's logic failures. So, but getting it to where we can test it and we can troubleshoot it. Yeah, so very good. So, okay, I'll start on the populating. All right. Sockets are populated. I'd use my slimline 28s and separate them. I have done my beeping, beeped everything out, and I find no shorts. I find no opens. I put in a new connector here for the soundboard power, and these two pins right here are the sound signals coming back from the soundboard, and then they go out to the AR through there. I used my the fiberglass pen on those and cleaned them up pretty good. Good enough. I went through and I did my repairing here. I was able to just kind of solder blob this stuff together on where they needed to be done. Yeah. Right there. And I repaired that one right there, and then I put a repair wire on those three. Gosh. And beeped everything out, and everything seems to be good. So with any luck, we'll be good to go on this board. I do need to program EEPROMs for Star Wars, and I got word from the owner of this board to go ahead and program Star Wars bipolars. So I'm going to do that. I do have the Empire Strikes Back bipolars. Those are from Atari with the original Empire Strikes Back kit. So if anyone needs Empire Strike Back bipolar ROMs, I will have them and we'll sell them cheap. So yeah, let's go ahead and, well, I guess I'll go ahead and just burn ROMs and stuff. Yeah. No, I think next what I'll do is I will condition that board. And what I mean by that is do all of my analog up here work, wash the board really good, and I still have to verify that these RAMs are good. This I believe is no good, this ROM. But yeah, we'll figure that out. But let me go ahead and I'm gonna do my maintenance work up here. Get this board ready. Give it a nice washing. It's really not bad. It's really not dirty, really. It's pretty darn. I don't even think I need to wash this board. I don't. I'm not going to wash this. It's pretty clean. The only washing that I'll do is when I, scrub the flux off the back of this section right here. So other than that, this is a nice clean board. Cool. All right. I'll be back. We'll get to it. All right, I'm doing ROM burning. And remember, what was in this board was 3 128s and a 64. I'm trying to burn the 128 with the Star Wars 114 file right now. I have my sticker right there. This one looks like it's working. This is the third and final 128 from the board that I erased. And this one looks like it's going to work, which is good. Just the other two were malfunctioned. They were bad chips. But this one looks like it's good to go. So we do have our 114, and that was the last effort, the last chance right there was that 128. So this is the 64 that was in the board. I erased. I have to grab a couple more, a few more, and yeah, three more 64s. Hopefully this one's good, and I'll have my software set for this thing. Alright, yep, I just got the old data I/O out and programmed Star Wars bipolar ROM set for Star Wars. And I got all my ROMs in now. That's where that RAM goes, no big deal. That board is done, and here's those Empire Strikes Back bipolar ROMs. I put ESB on there to know what they are. So, alright. Put this all up and we'll be about ready to hook this thing up, and we'll put it up on the scope and the little scope up there and see what it does. Hopefully it works. We'll see. Be right back. Okay, I just got it all hooked up. I don't think you have to have this RAM in here for it to run. I got an AVG in, and I had an actual extra ROM. I had this ROM, so the one was bad, but this one I verified this one's good. So we got good ROMs, good RAMs, CPU I think is good, everything. So I don't know, let's see what we get. I got it up here. We'll go ahead and turn it on. Uh-oh. That ain't good. Yeah, something ain't good. Something ain't right. Okay. Let's turn it off. I guess I'll go ahead and first thing I'll do this off camera, is I'm going to check all my voltages everywhere. And then, yeah, we'll just have to start poking around. This, I don't have the luxury of putting the fluke on it, so this is going to be kind of old school, just poking around on this thing. So, alright, I'll be back. Alright, I got my schematics out, and we're going to have to just buckle in, because this could be a long one. This is a major problem here. We got nothing going on. I did put a known good CPU in it. There's the other one. I think that CPU is just fine, but we're using it with the that one, and I know all the RAM is good. That's eliminated. I just burnt these ROMs, and they verified. I know the ROM is good. I beeped all of these out, and I checked for opens and shorts, so I'm 95% confident on that work. It's just, with Atari, with how it's not solder masked on the traces, it's kind of nerve-wracking, to be honest. But I got the schematics out. We're going to pull up the CPU part, and we're going to work from the CPU out. That's all we can do. So, that being said, I'm going to turn the camera off and just start studying the schematic and poking around. And I'll be back if I find something cool. Alright guys, well, Tuesday night has ended with no success. Well, I'm not going to say that because I've done some things. Let me move this. I just went through and I tested some chips. I analyzed some buffers and some drivers and some decoders and stuff like that. Everything is A-OK so far. We got no reset. It's not resetting. But it looks like it's resetting on the screen where that little thing goes and back. It looks like it's resetting, but it's not. It's not running. Is if I plug the soundboard in, the soundboard it just makes weird noises. So yeah, this thing's not running. So I'm going to concentrate on this board, on the decoding part of this board basically. And yeah, I'm just going to continue on with this decoding section and move out from there, So hopefully we can find something funky. Alright, we'll get back at it tomorrow.